how do we create a festival? So the Wild and Free Festival in Sweden was born. 3 days, music on your beat, raps, movement, activations, business, masterminding, strategy, how to launch, how to get out of your own way, how to be and operate wild and free. What's up, legend? Clint X Morgan here, and welcome to another episode of the Rich Mystic Man podcast. I'll tell you what, I'm jacked. I'm pumped. I've got so much energy. I'm super excited because on Monday I go to Sweden, baby, and super excited about that. We are hosting an event, and it's really it's a very okay. This wasn't my exact intention for this webinar. Sorry, not this webinar. Fucking hell. This my brain's already in Sweden. This wasn't my initial intention for this podcast. However, I think it's relevant now that it's here, now that we're here. And I also do have something else that I want to share, and potentially we'll get there. Potentially we won't. And that's how I flow, baby, just in the moment and as things arise. And if you have to pivot, then be willing to pivot, because you may think you need to go in this direction, but God or your higher self has a different path for you. And so we go, okay, in God we trust, and we pivot. So here we are, Sweden, Monday, right? 8 years ago. Literally the same time, end of August, within the same week, I left for Sweden. And at the time, I just started with my, in the online space with my Enagic business. And I had still very little money, minimal money. In fact, zero money, right? But which it was before that, right? Zero money. And I had this inspiration to go to Sweden. I went there probably holy shit, when was the first time I went there? Don't tell me it was 8 years before that. Don't tell me. No way, right? It was 2006 that I went. Oh, no, then it was 2016. 2006? Or was it 2007? No, it was 2006. Then I went again in 2016, and now I'm going again in 2023, right? Anyway, so I'd been there that prior time. So I was 10 years after, right? 10 years later. This time it's 8 years. It's getting shorter. So I went there when I was on that trip. I went for a trip. I went to Sweden. I loved it. I said, you know what? I'd love to come and live here one day. I was there for 7 days the first time. I wanted to come live here one day. So I just had this goal. It was like, I wanted to go live in Sweden. It was like a bucket list thing. Let's go live in Sweden. And then I had this, I was at this event. I was speaking at this event about the water. And I was there, went to dinner with Christy and another Scotty Z. And Scotty Z turns to me and he goes, brother, we just didn't really know each other. We're getting to know each other. And he says, mate, he goes, if you could be doing anything, what would you be doing? Well, it might have been if money wasn't, maybe if you could be doing whatever you wanted right now, what would you be doing, right? Or something like that. Or if money was an issue, what would you be doing? And I just looked at him and I said, mate, I'd pack up and I'd go to Sweden. And as I said it, I was like, fuck, if I could be doing anything, I'd pack up and go to Sweden. I was like, because I just recently crashed my car that same day. I had quit my job the week before. And so that's like, I had this openness. I'm like, I can go to fucking Sweden. I don't have the car. I don't have the job. Holy shit, I can go to Sweden. And so I was like, and then it just went from this, desire or this dream to like, let's make it happen. So I set a date, booked the flights, and with the little money I had, and booked the flights, and then come up to the day that I was actually leaving, I had no money. So my mum, God love her, love you mum, she gave me a gift, a going away gift, because I was moving to Sweden, right? Her son potentially going to live on the other side of the world, pretty much as far away from Australia as you can be, Sweden, Stockholm. And she gave me $600. Thanks, Mum. So I went to Sweden, Stockholm was $600. That was it. Moving there was $600. And a business that I was just sort of, I'd been making money with it, but my plan was to go over there and, live in Sweden and just become a Sweden, learn the language, and just integrate my life into Sweden. So when I got there, there was a housing shortage, and I decided to, or I just, by chance, I talked to someone, and I just started asking around for apartments, like places that I could live. And there was a guy in a kebab shop, and getting a kebab. And there's a guy in the kebab shop. He said, listen, I got this friend, he lives on a boat, right? And he's got a spare room on this boat. And I'm like, that's random as fuck. I'm keen. Right. Anyway, so he took me down to meet this guy. He said he checked in with him, and he's like, yeah, he's willing for rent for, it was 3,500 SEK or something like that. It might have been $1,000, or it might have been 3,500 AUD. Anyway, it was a decent amount for this shitty boat. So I was on this boat. At first I thought it was good. The first night sucked because it just water splashed on the side, barely slept, right? And but after a while of living on this boat, when I'd go to land would wobble. I was sort of tripping over myself because I was wobbly. So that's what happens when you live on a boat. And so I was living on this boat in Sweden. And I was there. Didn't know why I was there. And after a little bit, maybe about a month, I was like, I don't think I want to live in Sweden. I don't think I like Sweden that much, right? It's great. It was good for the time, but I'm like, I just don't think I want to live here. And so it started to sort of shift. Anyway, so at the time, I started getting these visions, these downloads of like my purpose, what I was here to do. Really like vivid, vast, massive downloads of, I guess my life over the rest of my life, in really clear, vivid images of what I was here to do, like this big vision. It was sort of like passed on to me. This is your future if you choose to accept it. That's what it felt like. And I was like, holy shit, why me? Like, what the heck? This is huge. And so when I came back from Sweden, because I was coming back from my brother's wedding, and so I came back and decided, because I was like inflamed. I was like, I was inspired by this vision. I just came back and just sort of shared with people, right? And so I remember going to, I had this like vision of how I could like change the world. And so I remember inviting a bunch of friends over to an apartment it was Christy's apartment, my wife, in Burleigh on the Gold Coast. I was like, I'm going to invite all the people I know. I'm going to share this vision. So I got everyone around, got the whiteboard out, did this big pitch. This is the vision. This is what we're doing. This is what we're creating. And like half people were like, man, that's a good vision. Good luck. Other people were like, damn, you're whack. And other people were like, man, that's so you. Really go get it, man. We're here in full support. And now some people were like, how can I support? I'm in. I'd love to support in this vision. So that vision sort of got put to the wayside in a sense. It was like, what I realized was like, it was a big vision out here, let's say my lifetime. So, coming back to now, it's like, what's the relevant action step I need to take? So it's sort of like, I can see it as a full path of like where I'm going in my life as part of my purpose. And it involved around like a way that humans and people on earth can collaborate in a really way that's fair, creates equality, and like fairness and abundance for all that are involved, right? And still, keeping with the thing of like opportunity, creating abundance, like, providing services, real supportive of the entrepreneurial dream, right? So it's not like we're all just equal and everyone gets paid the same and does the same thing and is real boring. It like promotes uniqueness and people's specific unique gifts, and we collaborate, right? And we come together and we share in opportunity, and we get behind and we create wealth and abundance together, right? But separately. So it's very complex, but it's really beautiful. And I'm excited to share that with you all at the right time. When the timing's right, it'll happen, right? It's been 8 years. So then all of a sudden, right, and when I went there, my intention was to build my Nagic business. My mentor in the Nagic space, the online space, Balaj, he shared with me that there was the amount of sales were made in each country, and in Sweden it was 732 from memory, around 700. And I was like, holy shit, like it's peanuts over there. Not many people know about this water. I was like, I'm going to blow shit up. So when I was there, guess how many sales I made? 2 months. 0. Not one sale. However, I did have some team that were making sales, that was supporting me to live. Thank you, team. And thank you, the power of network marketing. It's a blessed model because you can get paid even whilst you are not doing anything. Living on a boat in Sweden. So it was a real blessed opportunity, and I was living the dream until my money runs out, until my salespeople in the field stop making sales. And so, but that's a tale for another day. But I run out of money, and I had 10 days till I was going back to Australia, right, for my brother's wedding. And I'm holding the mic because this stand's a bit dodgy, but I noticed I was like had it up like here, so I was on the stage. You don't have to have these ones right up like that. Anyway, if you're listening, you can't see shit, but if you're watching the video, you would have seen what I was talking about. And so I completely ran out of money, and on this boat, and I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? 10 days. I'm like, I know I'll be fine. Like I'll figure it out, but I've got 10 days before like I leave to go back home, right? And no way of money coming in, right? There was no money that was coming in. So I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? And I used to go up to this hotel, and I'd go up to this hotel during the day. It was up from the boat because the boat didn't have internet. I'd go up there and I'd work. I'd get my laptop out. I'd listen to some music. And I was creating this program called the Conscious Rockstar Lifestyle. And it was an ebook, but it sold into some program, right? So I was working on this thing, the Conscious Rockstar Lifestyle. It's just a name that I come up with because I was like, I like the idea of this, like, traveling, being conscious, helping people, building a business. But it's like you're a rock star, it's sort of like a conscious rock star lifestyle, right? And this is before I realized that I wanted to be a rapper, right? I had this desire to be a rock star. That was part of my, I love the idea of being a rock star, right? And so I was making this ebook. So I used to go up there during the day, and when I sort of had this no money thing, I was getting up early. I'm like, okay, I need to get shit going here. So I'd wake up at like 4 a.m. And I remember I went up the next day. I woke up at 4 a.m., went up to the hotel. I'd normally just go there during the day, but I woke up early this morning, and I went up there and I was just had the music on, had some Tupac playing, and I was, creating this thing, and I was, planning to take over the world. At the same time, I was getting these downloads and these visions and stuff like that. And it was an epic time. It was fun, a lot of fun. And I was there 4 a.m. And then about 6, this lady sits down next to me. And she sits down next to me, and she's got a plate of food. And I was like, oh, what's going on here? Anyway, this other lady goes and sits down across. I was at sort of like the little booth thingy in the lobby, sits down across, and she's got a plate of food. And I'm like, look over, there's a buffet. I gets up out of my stool, casually walks over, straight to the buffet, grabs a plate, fills that plate with food, went sat back down, just ate my breakfast, casually sort of just checking around, casually. No one said anything. Took my plate, put it in the where you put the dirty plate part. No one said anything. I was like, holy shit, jackpot. I can live on just breakfast for 10 days. So this is my plan. Fast forward, 7.5 years later, I'm writing an album. I built my business, financially free. Now within that business, many further positions along, have a global team, have a Facebook community within our community of 7,000 people. financially free, writing an album, working on an album. So in that album, I was telling the story of how I became a rapper. And I sort of wanted to give the context of sort of how things started out. And so I was just like, it just reminded me of that time in Sweden, when I was on the boat. And so I wrote the first verse of this track. And it's something like, I'm in Sweden, I'm living on a boat. I'm up at 4 a.m. trying to keep myself afloat. The breakfast buffet open in the Hilton Stockholm Slussen. Speaking the unspoken, devotion is in the motion. Escaping from the rat race was my first goal. I'm sick of earning flat rates, I'm taking back control. I need to feed my family, my son is on the way. My wife is saying to me that you got 90 days, or you'll have to go and get a job at 9 to 5. Fuck that shit decline, I'd lose my mind in no time. Right? So I wrote this track, and so it's the breakfast buffet open at the Hilton Stockholm Slussen, right? So I was there and I was writing this song, right? The breakfast buffet open. I was penniless in Sweden. I'm living on a boat. I'm up. So it's like I'm penniless. I'm broke in Sweden, right? And the breakfast buffet open. I'm writing this sort of lyric. I'm just playing around with some different rhymes, and I'm like, what was the name of that hotel? Couldn't think of it for the life of me. And so I was looking on Google. I was trying to figure out where I was staying, and it was a long time ago. I couldn't really figure it out. Anyway, I saw the Hilton Stockholm Slussen, and I was like, I think that's it. Wasn't sure, but I was like, that'll do. The Hilton Stockholm Slussen, right? And so I created this song, right? The breakfast buffet open in the Hilton Stockholm Slussen. Speaking the unspoken, devotion is in the motion. So fast forward another, couple of months, we're hosting an event in Sweden. We have a growing, emerging team in Sweden, and that's why we're hosting an event. Just popped up, this team. Not through me. Wasn't sales I made over there, part of my team directly. It was like I introduced someone to our business, who introduced someone, who introduced someone, who introduced someone, who introduced someone who's in Sweden and blows it up. Right? Her name's Maneka. Crushing it in Sweden. Big team in Sweden. I'm like, holy shit, I got this Swedish team. And then my wife just suggests we do an event over there. I was like, hell yeah, Sweden. Yes. So good. And my wife's normally like the event genius, right? She's sort of like the brains behind it, but she's like, nah, I've done enough events. I just need a bit of me time. I'm like, I'll do it. I'll create the event. Anyway, so because I've done Own Your Beats and things like that, I've created some good events. I'm like, cool, I want to bring the music element to it, right? So how can we talk business, right? And how can we talk business, and how do we talk music? How do we create a festival? So the Wild and Free Festival in Sweden was born. 3 days, music, on your beat, raps, movement, activations, business, masterminding, strategy, how to launch, how to get out of your own way, how to be and operate wild and free. Put together this event. So now, going back to Sweden on Monday, it's Friday, going back to Sweden, the same week that I went 8 years ago. And during the event planning, we're looking at venues. We had this venue, didn't really line up for a couple of different things. We had to sort of make a switch last minute. So we're looking at venues. So I was talking to Maneka in Sweden. I said, listen, we need a new venue. Any ideas? She goes, listen, try the Radisson, Central Stockholm. I'm like, Radisson. I was like, that's the hotel that I used to go to, the Radisson. Fuck, that's right. And I was like, holy shit, imagine if we had the event at the Radisson. Can you imagine that? 8 years ago, I was broke, getting a free buffet, stealing a buffet, right? You can go to jail for that shit. It's theft. Stealing a buffet. 8 years later, hosting an event, 150 people, financially free. A rapper. I used to go to this hotel, eating the breakfast buffet, right? writing a book about the conscious rock star lifestyle, right? Now living fully the conscious rock star lifestyle. Not back then. I was like the broke. It was the starving artist back then. Now it's like, you know, the artist that got money. This guy, this guy, like this guy. You know, he's rich. He's got money. He's living the conscious rock star lifestyle. You know, he's clean. He's growing. He's emotionally evolved. Talking about myself here. He's a rapper, right? Sure, he doesn't have millions of people following him and, you know, stuff out online yet, right? But he's a rapper. He does concerts. He's written an album. He's got music. He's got stuff on Spotify. He's a rapper. He's an artist. And financially free. 8 years later. 8 small years. So how trippy is that, right? So I'm like, holy shit, we're going to do this venue here, the Radisson. It's got to be the Radisson. Anyway, Martina, my events legend, she looks into it. She goes, hey, Clint, sorry, the Radisson doesn't have availability. I'm like, damn it. God damn it. She goes, but I did find this hotel. Check this one out. Showed me through some images. And I was like, had this auditorium. I was like, that looks dope, like stage, auditorium sort of thing. I was like, yeah, that'd be epic. That'd be really cool. And I'm looking at it, looking at the site. Hilton. Oh, yeah, Hilton. Nice. Hilton. And I saw this Stockholm Slussen. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. The Hilton Stockholm Slussen. Breakfast buffet open at the Hilton Stockholm Slussen. I was like, no way. Are you serious? So guess what? Friday, day one of the event at the Hilton Stockholm Slussen. I have a fucking song already to perform there with the lyrics. The breakfast buffet open at the Hilton Stockholm Slussen. Speaking the unspoken devotion is in the motion. I was like, you are kidding me. 8 years later, going back, financially free, right? Have a song that I've just magically written by chance. And we have day one of the event at this hotel. So there's something magical going down there, man. There's something magical going down in Sweden. So I feel like I'm excited about sharing once we've done it, like, and then just seeing what happens over the next 8 years from that day. Because I feel there's something in Sweden. You go there and shit catapults. Because when I come back from there, the thing blew up. Like I started crushing stuff. Like those big shifts that happen, right? And you know, there's been other shifts and things happen and other events that I've gone to, Vancouver. Hosted our own Freedom Fest events that have been huge. Celebrates. Freedom Fest celebrates. Now the Wild and Free Festival in Sweden. We went to Vegas earlier this year. Diamond Life. Mastermind. I've had some huge upgrades, some huge events that have changed and catalyzed big moments for me. And now going back hosting our own, right? And it's going to be so epic. Own Your Beat. We've got a few people performing from the community. Up and comers. Got myself headlining. Johnny Sonic, DJ from the Potbellies. World-renowned DJ. Coming there to crush it. We're bringing the crew. We're bringing the fire. Plus, all these people that are just crushing it in the online space. And we're there because there's big things about to go down in Europe, especially Scandinavia and the rest of Europe. Right? Our community is expanding. We already are global, but we're going next level global. So if you want to be part of the fun, get your tickets. By the time you're hearing this, you've probably got a couple of days to get there. But come and join us. Come and join us. And I'll share the other thing I wanted to talk about. Another time. But I will say, if you're listening to this and you're like, I want to be part of one of these festivals. I want to be part of one of these events. I want to be part of one of these experiences. Go to clintxmorgan.org, my website, subscribe to my newsletter, and I'll keep you posted of future events that we're doing. Just go to the newsletter or subscribe somewhere. It should be on the first page. You'll see it there. You can't miss it. And if you want to come to Sweden, go to same site, Clint X Morgan, clintxmorgan.org, O-R-G. And then you can go to the different tabs. You can see the Wild and Free event in Sweden. You can see stuff about the Lucky Money gene code, all my stuff. You can sign up to the newsletter and stay tuned because I was only talking this morning with my I'll save that. I'll hold my tongue there. I'll hold my tongue. No, I'll say it. I'll hold my tongue. Stay tuned on that one. There could be an event coming. I won't slip too much. All right. Yeah. If you feel the call, you feel the nudge, reach out, right? Come to Sweden. Trust that, back that. I know, it's a stretch. It's very soon. It's 1 week away. Get there. Right. And if you listen to this later down the track, past the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of September 2023, come to the next event. Go to that site. Check it out. So sign up to the newsletter and stay tuned because we host some freaking epic events. It's why I'm here. It's my purpose. It's what I'm here to do. Host big fucking events. So come and become part of the movement. The world's first business music festival. Whoop, whoop. Wild and Free, baby. Big love.
Sitting here watching the clock, I'm struggling, thinking of the bullshit that I've been juggling. Is there more to life than this?